So you're thinking about moving to Redmond, Oregon? Well, that's exactly what we're going to be covering in today's video. Today, we're actually going to be hopping into the computer and giving you a full bird's eye view from a map perspective of Redmond and Central Oregon and all of its surrounding glory. So if this video sounds like it's for you, then stick around because we're going to be getting after that tour right now. Hey, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living, eating, sleeping, working, playing, the good and the bad of living in Redmond, Oregon, then subscribe to the channel and tap that notification bell below so you can be the first to know about the current market in Redmond, Oregon. My name's Ryan and I've lived in Central Oregon for over 30 years. My partner Zach and I, we get calls and texts every day from people just like you looking for help on making their move to Bend or Redmond, Oregon, and we absolutely love it. Whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or even set up a Zoom meeting. We'd be happy to help you make that smooth move to Bend, Redmond, or anywhere else in Central Oregon. So, like stated in the intro today, we're going to be hopping into the computer to give you a map tour perspective of Redmond and the Central Oregon landscape that surrounds it. So let's just hop right in right now so we can give you a better understanding of what Redmond and Central Oregon are all about. So I'm going to do a little screen share here. We'll be off to the races. Just going to do a couple of little adjustments and we will be ready to rock and roll. So we've got Deschutes County, and I want to show you guys this first before we really get into what Redmond is all about. This is going to be Deschutes County right here. This is the red outline of our county. This is kind of the primary area that Zach and I focus in on as we serve our clients. And so you've got Bend right there in the middle, and then we've got Redmond right up there to the north. And we have Highway 97, which is the main north-south byway. This is the primary road that travels right through Deschutes County. That's where the majority of the traffic drives on. That's the road. We've got the east to west byway here. This is Highway 20 that comes from Eastern Oregon, and further east than that is going to be Boise, Idaho. But it goes all the way through the Eastern Oregon area, which is very rural. There's just not a lot of people that live out there. And then we get into Deschutes County on Highway 20, and this eventually will take us into the mountains and over the mountains into the Willamette Valley, where the vast majority of the population lives. But anyway, back to Highway 97. And Bend and Redmond, they're about 15 miles apart from each other. A lot of people commute to work to and from these cities. They live in one town, they work in the other, vice versa. And so there's a lot of traffic on a daily basis that will be traveling from Redmond to Bend. And it's about 15 miles. It's a 2-lane highway back and forth. There's a big median there that's about a couple, 2 or 3 miles long, but then there's also cross traffic. And so what happens is it can be pretty dicey on that road because people drive so fast. They treat it like it's a freeway as opposed to a highway. A lot of cross traffic turns, and people are driving 75, 80 miles an hour on there, especially when it's icy. It can be very sketch. But it's just the area is growing up so fast, and people they faster pace of life. People just need to slow down, but they wind up traveling at a pretty high rate of speed. We have our airport up here in Redmond, and so there's a lot of people that from Bend will commute to the airport on a regular basis, and that could be one of the reasons why people travel so fast on the road. But again, so a lot of people will travel this stretch of road right here on a daily basis. Tens of thousands of cars are going back and forth on a daily basis. We have this triangle here. This is kind of like our main drag of population. Sisters, a distant third when it comes to population bases in Deschutes County, but Redmond, Bend, Sisters, this is kind of like the focal point of the area. And then Sisters gets a little, or Sun River gets a little notoriety down here, especially during like the holiday season in summertime, because it's such a cool resort area that attracts so many people. But this is going to be the main area where the population is. Bend is at 3,600 feet in elevation, and then we have Redmond, which is a little bit lower. It's actually at about 3,000 feet. And so the further south you go, the further east you go, the further away from the mountains you go, that's where you're going to get lower and lower elevations. And so Redmond's at a little bit lower of an elevation, gets about 8 to 10 inches of precipitation a year. It's a desert, that's for darn sure. And Redmond is a little bit warmer of a climate than Bend too. So if say the average daytime high in the months of July and August for Bend are about 81 or 82, we're going to have an average daytime high in Redmond of about 85 or 86. So about 4 to 5, maybe 6 degrees on average warmer in Redmond as opposed to Bend, and vice versa. In the wintertime, Bend's going to get a little bit more snow and Redmond's going to get a little bit less of it because of their elevation difference. And so that's something, if you do like snow, if you don't like snow, if you like, if the proximity to the mountain is important to you, obviously Bend is going to be a little bit closer to Mount Bachelor, but still Redmond is very close. It's about I'd say it's about a 45-minute drive to Mount Bachelor from Redmond, depending on the weather, depending on the traffic, but that's what you can basically anticipate if you're a big skier or a snowboarder and Mount Bachelor is important to you. And so to give you an idea as to where that is, Redmond obviously is right here, and you would just take 97 into Bend. Eventually it would funnel you out through the west side. You can see this little white line here. This is Century Drive. And so this is going to be the road you take to Mount Bachelor. Eventually you're going to get up here, and it's going to be right in this range right about here. This is going to be Bachelor. In fact, I'll just go ahead and erase this and we can zoom in. It's going to be right in this range. Yep, there it is. Okay, that's Bachelor there. Mount Bachelor just opened up. There's over 4,000 acres of skiable terrain. We have 11 express lifts. The mountain, actually, you can ski all completely around the mountain, but it's a absolutely fantastic ski resort, the 6th largest ski resort in the country. It's right in our backyard. So it's close to Bend, it's close to Redmond, and Redmond actually has good access to Hoodoo, which is our other ski resort, which is going to be up the 126 here on the way up into the Santiam Pass. It's going to be like right in this range here. It's probably about a 40-minute drive too. If it's 20 minutes to Sisters, probably another 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes up into the pass. That's a much smaller mountain, and that's very weather dependent, very snow dependent. But we do have access to all that stuff, which is pretty cool. So Redmond, to me, is a very cool town. I look at it as kind of like a grid system here. You've got Highway 97, it goes north to south right through the center of town. And then you've got 126, which goes right through the east to west. It kind of separates the top from the bottom, north and south. You got the east and the west. So there's 4 quadrants to Redmond. The vast majority of our population in the town of Redmond is going to be on the west side of 97. You can see here from the grid and the maps, there's a lot more construction and development on this side of Highway 97, which is very unique in that regard. But Redmond is just really growing up. There is so much going on, so much new construction, and so much new development, and that's what's very, very unique. If Bend is growing at an alarming clip, the fastest growing area in the state, well, Redmond is right there with it. In fact, there are some years where Redmond probably grows at a higher percentage than Bend actually does itself. In fact, if we look over here at this article, I found this is pretty interesting. Bend, Oregon will be among the fastest growing cities by 2060. Now, I don't think we need to wait until 2060 to validate that. Bend already is one of the fastest growing areas. And what this article is actually, what represents Bend is actually Deschutes County. And so if we scroll down here, this is the entire country we're looking at too. This is crazy. So you got Bend, Oregon at number 7. And if you look over here at the population, 208,500, that's actually all of Deschutes County. So when people, or these articles like this, they say Bend, Oregon, what they're really saying is the Bend Metro. And what is considered the Bend Metro is all of Deschutes County, and Redmond falls right within that. So we're talking about Bend, we're talking about Redmond, we're talking about the entire Central Oregon area with this particular statistic here. 208,000 people this year, and then we'll have 382,900 by 2060, which is pretty interesting. I think it's going to happen way faster than that, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But for this type of thing here, we have Bend, Oregon, and the Deschutes County area, Redmond, number 7 fastest growing metro areas in the entire country. It's pretty crazy. So yeah, Redmond is right there in the thick of it. The airport's right here. There's 28 commercial flights on a daily basis. What you'll see here, you can see this runway. It points right to town. And so we'll have planes that fly overhead really low, like over Fred Meyer, the neighborhoods here, a lot of housing in this area. So if you don't like loud plane noise, then maybe, certain parts of Redmond may not be a good fit for you. But again, most of them will fly out to the east and try and go where there's less people. This way, this runway, that runway, but sometimes there's planes flying overhead here, taking off, as well as flying in from like north Seattle. I guess that's really the only northbound destination that we have, because Portland's been discontinued, which is interesting. So Again, we will have some fire bombers that fly out in the summertime, low flying, and they'll just do laps all day. If there's a fire in the state somewhere or in the Northwest, Redmond is a big hub, the airport here, for refueling and getting ready to go fight those fires. But those planes, man, they're loud, and they just do laps on a daily basis. I mean, sometimes 10, 15. So if there's 28 commercial flights, you might have like 40 or 50 big old jets that fly in and out of the area on a daily basis in the summertime when there's like fires going on, which is a typical thing in the summer. So if we continue to look here at the southwest part or southeast part of Redmond, we have our Deschutes County Fairgrounds here. And so Redmond has the airport, has the fairgrounds. Pretty cool that they get to have that as their claim to fame. But again, Redmond here, this is unique. This is Highway 97. This is a stretch of the highway here in the city limits that is more or less just like, it's like a highway. A lot of semi trucks, a lot of businesses like on like the sides of this road here. So that is unique in the sense that it is like just a regular highway, and it used to go all the way through downtown even until I'd say back in 2005, 2006, in that range. That's when a parkway system was designed to go around the downtown area. This is downtown Redmond right in here. You can see the grid of the streets, but 97 used to go right through it like this. And so you'd have semi trucks going right through downtown. Not very attractive, not very appealing for businesses, people that want to live downtown, like to walk downtown. And so that all changed back in the early 2000s when it was rerouted around downtown. And so this is like a freeway right here, this whole stretch here. And there's really not a lot going on right on it. It's like a freeway, like I said. So you have, some housing over here. You got some businesses up here, but mostly it's just like kind of a freeway, and there's really no like on-off exits. You just got to go all the way up here to the north end of town. If you missed a turn or something and you need to get back into town, you got to go all the way up here and then start over, like come down 6th Street, and that will take you through downtown. But that's cool that Redmond, the downtown area, now actually has more of a traditional style downtown. It's got the north, it's got the south roads, the 6th and 5th Street, which have they become very attractive for businesses that want to have a downtown environment and a lot of foot traffic for offering their business, their products and services. So this is the downtown area. A lot of small little boutiques, a lot of great little restaurants, little brew pubs, things like that. That's what Redmond's really all about. And it's really come along over the last 5 years. It's just blown up a lot. In the last 5 or 10 years, it's pretty unique. What I like about it too is that like there's a huge, there's the residential neighborhoods are just right off of the area, the downtown area too. So very walkable area, bicycle friendly area, very just a lot of character. People that live in this stretch of town just really take pride in it, and it's really obvious that they love this area of town where they live, and there's and that's for good reason. So if we were to continue, we'll zoom out a little bit. I want to show you guys a little bit about Southwest Redmond. And so what I've talked about in previous videos, we've got a pros video of Redmond. We talk about a couple of vlog videos, neighborhood videos of Redmond. We've got the southwest part of town here, where Ridgeview High School has just gone in. It's about 5 years old, so not just gone in, but it's been open since 2016, so about 5 years, just kind of on the city line here. But there's all kinds of development going on around here. And so I always say, like, when a new high school goes in, I've lived in Central Oregon long enough to have 3 different high schools that have gone in. Ridgeview is the second one. Summit was the first back in 2001. And then we just had Caldera High School in Bend just open up just this last year. And so what happens is, like, the development, just like the floodgates open, houses go in all over the place as a result of this new high school that's gone in. And this is no exception for this part of Redmond. It's going to really take off. And we've already seen that. You can see that in some of our vlog videos that feature neighborhoods in this part of town. Median home price right now is under $550, and that's it's gone down a little bit, and we're probably going to be creeping up, closer towards $500,000 per home, median home price in Redmond here pretty soon. A lot of people are in the market, but they're being patient. They're kind of waiting to see what happens. They're seeing houses that are staying a little bit longer and longer on the market than where they were a year ago, and so they're just being patient. They know that they're in more of an advantage state right now when it comes to buying than they were a year ago or a year and a half ago, when it was just such a frenzy and you just had to put the offer in the day you found out about it when it came on the market. This is not really the case now. And so the housing market in Redmond is stable, it's healthy, but it's a little bit slower than where it was, kind of correcting back to more of a normal state where it needs to be, kind of in the middle. You can't have it on the pendulum, like one way too extreme or the other way too extreme. And so, that's the general state of the market, but that's to give Redmond some homage about that. It's going to be about 500,000 in that range, and it could dip a little bit below that. But we are certainly still in a seller's market, but we're creeping over towards more of a buyer's market in the current state of things. And so that bodes well for people that are in the market looking to purchase. So let's keep on touring the town of Redmond. One thing that I want to show everybody viewing the video today is where we're at here with Terrebonne. So Terrebonne is a little town just to the north of Redmond, and it is home to Smith Rock State Park. Smith Rock State Park is a world-renowned rock climbing venue, and it is in Terrebonne, and it's just to the east of Terrebonne, just about a 15-minute drive from Redmond. This is where I've gone to have family pictures. People go they get married out there. They go hiking out there. There's the Crooked River goes right through it. It is a absolute stunning piece of land. And if you ever get a chance to go take a look at it, I highly recommend it. It is absolutely incredible. We'll see if we can see it here from the Google map, from the Google Earth right now, because I want to show you what that looks like. It is stunning. So we're heading over to Smith Rock State Park right now, and you can see this is from a 2D vantage point here, but this is going to be kind of like the way it looks just from the Google map. You can totally see like the canyon here, and just the way the Crooked River goes right through it. It's stunning. It really is. And so there's 800,000 people that will come visit this park on an annual basis, and you can see just the way the Crooked Rivers carve things out over the course of time is just stunning. And so the rocks themselves, they provide challenges for rock climbers of every level. And then the hike itself, you can see like these little lines here. These are hiking trails. This goes down into the canyon. You're going to cross the river right here. And this right here is Misery Ridge. Goes up all the way around. This is really steep too. This is like a pretty moderate climb for anybody. All you need is tennis shoes, but you start climbing this thing up here and you're looking down, you're like, okay, if you're scared of heights, you better be prepared, because it is a fascinating view and a fascinating experience for anybody who just loves the outdoors and loves doing things like this. And so, I would put this rock formation up against just about any in the West. It might not get the notoriety that some of the others do that are like in Zion or Bryce Canyon National Park, but this rock formation certainly is competing with all those. It just might not get the notoriety, even though we still get 800,000 people that visit. So it is famous. It's just not the most famous, but it's pretty cool to have it here in Central Oregon, especially since we're kind of known for like our bigger mountains that are over here. But we also have like something unique in the sense that Smith Rock State Park can be easily accessible, and it's just about a 15-minute drive from Redmond. So that is very unique. Redmond is kind of like, to me, it's like kind of the focal point, the centerpiece of Central Oregon. I know Bend is the biggest town and it's more famous and it gets more of the notoriety and the recognition. But the reality is like the airport's here and the fairgrounds are here. And so it's closer to Portland, it's closer to Eugene. It's about a 2.5 to 3 hour drive to Portland. If you were driving to Portland from Redmond, you would take US 97, it turns into US 97 outside of town, and then you would eventually cross over to 126. If I can get this thing to stop, I would appreciate it. But if we're going to zoom out and we are going to look at where Redmond is in proximity to, say, like Portland, and some people will wind up actually driving to Portland to catch a plane, because we actually don't have a flight service from Redmond's airport to Portland. It just goes to Seattle and San Francisco as like our primary areas that we fly to on a daily basis, as well as a few others: Salt Lake City, Phoenix, LA, San Diego, Denver. There's a couple others. I think they're going to be adding, say, maybe Dallas, Fort Worth, and Chicago's kind of always been a regional one too. But if you were to drive to Portland or to the Willamette Valley, you got two basic options here. what you can do is you can take 97 north, turns into 26 in Madras, which is the largest town up in Jefferson County, the neighboring county to the north, and it will take you up around Mount Hood, and then eventually you'll come into the east side of Portland, Sandy, etc. And that is how you get to Portland. Or if you're going to go directly west, Sisters, and then you'll go up to Black Butte Ranch, and this will take you up into the Sandy Am Junction in the mountains. We're at about 5,500 feet in this area here, and this is a fork where you make a decision. You're going to go like this way on 22 to Salem and eventually to Portland, or you're going to go straight to Corvallis. That's where Oregon State University is, and that's only a seasonal road option too. This is too windy, so they just close it during the wintertime. Or you can go down 126 Mackenzie Bridge, and this will take you to Eugene. But all roads to the west lead to the Willamette Valley, where basically the majority of our population resides in the state. But that's how you're going to get to and from other areas that have large bodies of population in the state. If you are into the lake life and you live in Redmond, well, you are in luck, because you have chosen a very good location to take advantage of the lake life. And so what we have here is Redmond, again, right in the centerpiece. If you like ski boats, if you like going fast, you're going to have Prineville Reservoir, which is over here. It's about 30 miles, probably a 35-minute drive. So you have to drive to Prineville, then you eventually take one of these roads, and it accesses Prineville Reservoir. Great ski lake. But the one that gets the most credit and notoriety is going to be Lake Billy Chinook, which is about 30 minutes to the north of Redmond. As you can see here, it's the Deschutes River. It's also the Crooked River and Matoyas rivers that get dammed up, and they create a quite a scene. Actually, it's pretty cool when you're up there in the summertime. It is a spectacular day, or a spectacular lake for people that like the lake life. That's for darn sure. So we'll see if we can take a quick look at it here from Earth and how that looks. Pretty cool. Locals call it the Cove, and it is a absolutely stunning area. It's pretty it gets really hot, but it's fun to hang out here and enjoy the lake life. That's for darn sure. So we go back into Redmond and we take a quick look at some of the other amenities that the town has. Redmond is, like I said, it's 36,000 feet, or 36,000 people, and at about 3,000 feet in elevation. Everything you need is in Redmond. Most people that live in Redmond prefer to live there as opposed to having to go to Bend. I mean, there's Bend, there's Redmond. They're two different personalities when it comes to the towns and the type of people that they attract. But sometimes people from Redmond that live in Redmond have to go to Bend for things. Costco's in Bend. There's more options for shopping, dining, etc. in Bend as opposed to Redmond. So that's something that may be a negative, but it's really not that big of a deal. We are getting a new Costco. It's going to be at the north tip of Bend here. That's going to be going in over the next couple of years. So that would be something that bodes well for Redmond people. They only have to travel this far as opposed to traveling through Bend and then going to the east side, which Costco's right in this area over here. And so that's something that some people don't like to do. I know that I have several friends that live in Redmond. They wind up going to Costco maybe once a month, and they try to go only one time. They'll spend $500 to $1,000 and just try to do it one time because they don't necessarily like going through the traffic and the speed of Bend. They prefer the slower paced life of Redmond, and that's something that is totally cool. So again, here is the outline of Redmond. We've got Eagle Crest Resort over here, a super cool resort area, very popular in the summertime, 3 golf courses, and it is a place where thousands of people wind up recreating, whether it's for short-term rentals, whether it's a second home, whether it's a primary home, whether it's just there for the weekend. Eagle Crest is a very cool area here. We can see the golf courses there, as well as, if we were to zoom out, what I want to show you guys too is the Dry Canyon. This is a very unique piece of landscape that goes right through the center of Redmond. It's really, really cool for people that like the outdoor amenities. Hiking, there is pickleball, there's tennis, there's an outdoor amphitheater, there is a dog park, off-leash park, there's all kinds of trails, dirt trails, there's paved trails. There is a skate park, there are kids' playgrounds. I mean, it's a 3-mile stretch of just this very unique landscape that you can't develop on it. And so they just developed around it. And so there's houses that are on the ridge line all the way up and down the entire canyon here. This is Maple Avenue here, but it provides a pretty unique vantage point. But what is cool is the fact that it goes right through town and it's been preserved, and it's just something that locals really love to take advantage of. And so you can see here, if we're looking to the north, we have the trails there. If we pan around, you can see houses that are on the ridge there, and they go all the way down on both sides. But yep, paved trails, dirt trails, all kinds of stuff. It weaves in and around, but it's a very unique area. We have that featured on a couple of our other videos regarding Redmond. So again, that is a pretty unique feature of Redmond. Yeah, and so basically this is what's going to wrap up our video today. We wanted to give you a better understanding of what Redmond's really all about, and it's one of the fastest growing towns in Oregon, and probably one of the fastest in the country from a percentage standpoint. But again, great place to live, a little bit slower pace than Bend, but still has all the amenities that Bend has to offer, minus a couple. But we also have the airport. We've got the fairgrounds, and we've just got, there's a new high school, two total high schools. I mean, the town is really growing at an alarming rate, and so it's just a great place to live, much more affordable than Bend, but yet you get all access to all the outdoor amenities that Bend is so widely known for. Yet Redmond is just up the road, and it's a completely different way and pace of life for people that like a little bit slower pace of life, more rural pace of life. But yet you can still take advantage of all the outdoor attractions that Central Oregon has to offer. So if it's not Bend, maybe it's Redmond. It could be a good fit for you. We'd love to learn more about what it is you're looking for, and maybe we can try and help you find something that would be a good fit for you. So thank you for watching today's video. Our contact information is below. If there's any comments that you guys want to make, any suggestions, it helps us stay motivated to make these videos. It inspires us to keep going, because we know that what we're saying and what we're sharing is meeting the right people and helping people make informed decisions about what they are going to do when they consider moving to Central Oregon. So again, thanks for watching. Contact information is below. If you guys know how to reach out to us, it starts with you. You can give us a call, you can shoot us a text, you can set up a Zoom meeting, or you can just make a comment, and we will just plan on seeing you guys around town or in the next video. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.